Again, my name is Shauna Barnes. I am the Director of Innovation here at SGR. Little history on me. I have over 11 years experience in, local government. Before local government, I have around 8 years experience in the construction and development, side in the public sector. I've won innovation awards in the past. I'm clocking in now at over 1,200 business processes, workflows that I've created. I have assisted organizations in digitizing over 10 million records to date, streamlining those documents, managing, and enhancing accessibility for efficient retrieval and analysis. So that's kind of a snapshot of kind of what I've done. Me personally, I was in Texas about 2 years ago. So currently I reside in the Smoky Mountains. I call home on the border of Tennessee and North Carolina out here. Enjoying kind of the country life. As you can see, my two little chickens down at the bottom, that's Betty and Lucy. They're my silky chickens. So enjoying kind of, the country life more here in the Smokies. Things that I've done in the past, in regards to, different departments. Again, a lot of my history is in local government. So there's really not a department I have not worked with. I've worked heavily in HR in just about every aspect. City Secretary's office, birth and death records, agenda processes, open records, alcohol permitting. Heavily involved in police and fire with, personal history statements, hiring processes, training certificates, internal reporting, investigation, crime scene photos, special event permits and fire, development services, again, heavy in integrating and, streamlining a lot of different processes within like development and public works, heavily involved in code enforcement. I've done a ton in fiscal services. Public works, you name it, I've probably tackled it in the public works sector, from inspections to, water meter reader process, easement approval processes, plan submittal, contractor registration. So, like I said, in the government realm, there really hasn't been much I haven't tackled. As far as our agenda today, one topic. Our first one we're going to start off with is just digital transformation in and of itself. This is probably the topic I'm probably most passionate about, and how it is used to reshape operations through technology. We're going to touch base on some integrated systems, and how the streamlining and workflows for efficiency work in that realm. Data-driven decisions, leveraging insights for strategic planning. Emerging tech, staying ahead of automation and the collaboration tools that are out there right now. A big portion of this is change management, right? Overcoming those implemental challenges of taking on new technology and switching systems and switching processes. And then we'll kind of follow up with some Q&A. So digital transformation. So digital transformation is embracing digital technologies to fundamentally change business operations. So why is this so important, right? So one of the biggest things and the biggest push for digital transformation is improved efficiency. When you transfer records and they become digital, it helps streamline business processes. It helps create workflows. It reduces manual tasks. It increases operational efficiency, which can lead to cost savings and higher productivity. One of the biggest things for digital transformation, of why it is so important and why it is the core, is that ease of finding information, right? When things become digital, if they are done correctly, the biggest thing that you can get out of transforming into the digital world is the ease of finding that information. Like I said, when it is done right and when it is planned and working how it should, enhance customer experience. With the digital transformation world, it also enables you to understand and engage your customers better, both internal and external. People on this call have both internal and external. You have your internal colleagues and we have the external public. By leveraging data analytics, personalizing marketing strategies, this allows you to deliver a more tailored and seamless experience, leading to increased customer satisfaction. Like I said, both internally and externally. Agility and adaptability, right? In the digital world we are currently living in, change is constant. Organizations that embrace this digital transformation will be better equipped to adapt to marketing shifts, customer preferences, technical advancements, and disasters that may arise. This agility enables you to respond quickly to challenges and seize new opportunities. Innovation, right? With the digital transformation, that fosters the culture of innovation, within organizations. By adapting, adopting, and emerging technologies, you're able to increase your productivity and enhance your customer service. Data-driven decision-making. The shift into the digital world generates vast amount of data, right? So we've cleared the paper and now we're in this digital world. And what happens is you start collecting data with all of these platforms. This data can be used to analyze and gain valuable insight into behavior and operational performance. By harnessing the power of data analytics, you can make more informed decisions and optimize strategies to succeed. Risk management. Digital transformation allows you to mitigate risks associated with traditional processes. By diversifying, revenue streams, improving cybersecurity measures, creating audit trails, and adopting cloud-based solutions, you can help safeguard against potential disruptions and ensure business continuity. Overall, digital transformation is essential for your organization to thrive in this digital age we're all now in. It's not just about adopting new technology, but also about embracing the mindset of not only innovation, agility, customer centricity that drives sustainable growth and long-term success. So a great example of having a great digital transformation, not only a process, but how the digital world talks to each other. So one great example for me is the agenda process, right? It's something almost all of us are associated with, or are a part of in some way, shape, or form. And it doesn't necessarily just have to be the approval process. So not only when digital records, you have it, you can streamline it, you can build workflows from building that approval process from when an item is submitted for approval and it makes its way through an entire organization for approval. So you get to streamline that process. But what I love at the end of the day is when it is done, you officially have those official records, right? You have your official agendas, you have your resolutions, you have your ordinances, you have your contracts, you have your packets, everything that's associated with this process. And the beautiful part about digital transformation, if done correctly, you get to link those documents together. So when you have an agenda, you can open up an agenda that will be linked to if it's associated with a resolution or an ordinance or a contract. The thing is, if digital transformation is done correctly, you have the entire piece of the puzzle and you can follow that bread trail, right? It's that ease of finding information. And so when I talk about finding, it's like these documents are linked together. So if you select an agenda is linked to an ordinance, or a resolution is linked to a contract, is linked to the packet item that can be linked to, think about how this bread trail can go. You can link those to the whole finance world, capital projects. You could link these to grants. The grants world is an entire different beast, but you can start linking these documents in order for quick retrieval. Again, one of the biggest parts about digital transformation is being able to find that information easily. So before you start or looking at or where you are at in your digital transformation process, make sure you understand what that means. Digital transformation is great, but what is that digital transformation at the end of the day? Those are records. right? Everything that I've mentioned, from an agenda, a resolution, an ordinance, a contract, and this is just in this piece, but it could be in HR realm. From every record that you touch, those are records. And what are records? Dependent on the organization that you're at. All records have retention schedules. All records, depending on what they are, public facing, internal, they all tie. So before you start on the digital transformation journey, make sure you understand your records at their core. I have been a part of a ton of organizations that have spent a ton of money digitizing records that are literally sitting on a shared drive, and they're not doing anything. They're missing out on the crucial pieces of what makes the digital world so special. When you throw and you make a record just digitized and throw it on the shared drive, what good is that doing you? They should, again, be text searchable. There should be a standardization, a system. You should have that ease and ability of making those records work for you. So plan your digitization out before you start to engage and start to invest into that digital transformation journey. So my next topic, integrated systems. So integrating systems within a municipality or an organization, is a wonderful thing if done correctly. Again, you can start linking, these platforms that are used in different departments. So say, for example, you can start linking platforms from public works and finance and HR, public safety, administration. There are a ton of benefits of linking these different systems together. One of the biggest ones is that efficiency and service delivery. When you integrate systems through a streamlined process across different departments, you reduce those hurdles of, the bureaucracy that is sometimes involved in that. When it is linked and you have those integrations, it kind of takes that out of it. And it enhances the delivery of services, not only to your residents, but to your internal customers. For example, a unified system between, say, permit approvals can expedite the construction process. Or when you unify a system like utility billing and public works, when you unify these systems, you have the same data sets, right? You guys are all working on the same data. It's all coming from that central point of contact, to where one system may have one set of data, another system may have another set of data. Well, which data is correct? Right? Of trying to hunt and find who has the best data set. And when you start integrating systems, you start working on that centralized piece. So data consistency and accuracy, which is kind of what I was touching on. Integrating ensures that data is consistent and up to date across all departments. This is critical. It minimizes those errors and redundancies. This accuracy is crucial for making decision-making and reporting purposes. If you have manual entry going on in two separate systems, which is usually two separate departments, you run the risk of having inaccurate information in one of those systems, and that takes time, staff hours to figure it out and try and figure out where that breakdown is. That is, a huge plus of starting to integrate systems. Resource optimization. So integrating systems allow municipalities to make better use of resources by optimizing things like workflow, reducing manual intervention, and eliminating duplicate efforts. This results in cost savings and improved productivity. Improve civic engagement. Integrating systems can facilitate better communication and engagement with its residents. For instance, a unified online platform for municipal services can provide residents with ease of access to information and enable them to interact with you more efficiently. So a big portion of this is utility billing and public works, right? Integrating systems and that enhanced ability can only benefit having those two systems talk to each other. Enhance public safety. Integration of systems used by law enforcement, emergency services, and other public safety agencies can improve coordination during emergencies, leading to faster response times and better outcome for residents. So an example of this is, say, dispatch. So dispatch can now, if you integrate a system with like utility billing, if there is an emergency going on, dispatch has the capability of looking up contact information that may be within utility billing. Think about it within the best source of truth. If there's an emergency, that core of trying to get a hold of people that may need to be contacted. That would be a great source to tie into, say, like utility billing. Another great example of this would be fire and PD into development services. When you integrate and you stop gatekeeping your systems and you open it up to others and share your information. Take, for example, sharing that information between development service, fire, and PD. So if there's a huge disaster, if there is an emergency, and we have responders going out to, a building, how nice would it be to be on site for those fire and PD to pull up actual as-builts? They have plans of the buildings. They have, they can integrate and find out anything that they need to know about that building, who owns the building, right? Again, having a full plan of that building on site on these emergency situations. So when you open that up, there's a whole slew of things that you can start attaching to that can only help within an organization. Compliance and reporting. Integrated systems help municipalities ensure compliance and regulation and reporting requirements. By automating compliance processes and generating accurate reports, municipalities can avoid penalties and maintain transparency. Future readiness. So integration can also help provide the foundation for future technology advancements and initiatives within municipalities. They can adapt to changing needs and enable the adoption of emerging technologies, such as some of the smart city applications that are out there. Cost savings. While there may be initial investment, costs associated with integrating these systems, you can achieve a long-term cost savings throughout the approval of efficiency, reduce paperwork, reduce not only paperwork, but supplies a lot of the times, and duplicate systems. You have a better resource of management. Overall, system integration promotes transparency, efficiency, citizen satisfaction, ultimately contributing to the well-being and the prosperity of the entire community. Data-driven decisions. So data-driven decisions is essential for almost any organization for several reasons. Resource allocation. When you're responsible for managing limited resources efficiently, data-driven decisions help prioritize investments by identifying areas where the highest need and potential impact, ensuring that resources are allocated effectively and address the community needs. Service delivery optimization. Municipal services such as waste management, transportation, public safety directly impact residents' quality of life. By analyzing data on service usage, demographics, and feedback, you can start to tailor services that better meet the needs of your residents, improving overall satisfaction. Budget planning and fiscal responsibility. Municipal budgets are finite, and decisions and spending allocations have long-term implications. Data-driven insights enable municipalities to forecast revenue, analyze spending patterns, and evaluate the cost-effectiveness of programs, ensuring fiscal responsibility and sustainability. Infrastructure planning and maintenance. Infrastructure includes, your roads, your utilities, your public buildings, forms of the backbone of any municipality. Data-driven analytics help you assess the condition of infrastructure assets, prioritizing maintenance and repairs, plan for future development based on population growth and demographic shifts. Emergency preparedness and response. Data-driven approaches are critical for emergency management. By analyzing historical data, weather patterns, and population density, you can help develop more effective emergency response plans, allocate resources efficiently during crisis, and enhance public safety. Community engagement and transparency. Data-driven decision-making fosters transparency and accountability within your organization. By sharing data on government activities, performance matrix, spending, municipalities can build trust with residents and encourage community involvement in the decision-making process. Policy development and evaluation. Policies and regulations shape the social, economic, and environmental landscape of majority of communities that are out there. Data-driven analytics provides insights into the impact of policies, allowing municipalities to assess effectiveness, identifying areas for improvement, and make evidence-based adjustments. Long-term planning and sustainability. Municipalities must consider long-term sustainability when making decisions. Data-driven approaches help identify trends, anticipate future needs, and develop strategic plans to promote economic growth, environmental stewardship, and social equality. Overall, data-driven decisions enable municipalities to operate more efficiently, effectively, and responsibly, ultimately enhancing the well-being of the community. So some of the emerging tech that's out there, especially within, city government are, smart infrastructure. Cities are increasingly leveraging sensors and connected devices to monitor and manage infrastructures now, such as transportation systems, water supply networks, energy grids. For example, smart transportation management systems use real-time data to improve traffic flow, reduce congestion, and improve road safety. Open data initiatives. Municipalities are embracing the open data initiatives to make government data more accessible to the public. By providing data sets on topics such as public transportation schedules, crime statistics, air quality levels, cities empower residents, researchers, and developers out there to create innovative solutions and applications to address community needs. Citizen engagement platforms. Emerging technology right now in these platforms enable, municipalities and organizations to engage with their citizens more effectively and transparently. Digital platforms and mobile apps allow residents to access government services. They can report issues, provide feedback. Chatbots and virtual assistants out there are being deployed to answer common inquiries and streamline communication channels. Predictive analytics for public safety. Law enforcement agencies are using predictive analytics and machine learning algorithms to analyze crime data and identify platforms and trends. This allows police and fire departments to allocate resources more efficiently, anticipate potential hotspots, and prevents crime more effectively, ultimately enhancing public safety overall. Smart government solutions. So municipality governments are adopting digital tools and platforms to streamline internal processes and improve decision-making. Cloud-based collaboration tools, electronic document management systems, digital workflow solutions help automate administrative tasks, reduce paperwork, and enhance productivity among government employees. These are just some of the technologies that are out there that are, making things more responsive, efficient, and sustainable while enhancing the quality of life, not only for its citizens, but the workers as well. So with technology is that hard piece of change management. So change management is typically a difficult topic to cover. Effective change management is crucial for organizations that undergo any type of transformation. Whether it's implementing new technologies, restructuring processes, or shifting organizational culture, it is extremely important to tackle change management. So minimizing resistance to change. Change often triggers resistance among employees who may feel uncertain, anxious, and resistance to the unknown. Effective change management helps identify potential sources of resistance and addresses them proactively through communication, training, and involvement, reducing the likelihood of disruption and negativity. Maintaining productivity. A lot of people forget when you start transforming and changing whether it be a process or, as simple as, switching from one platform to another. People forget to maintain productivity while that change is going on. Poor managed change leads to disruptions in workflow, decreased productivity, and missed deadlines. By providing clear communication, support, and resources, effective change management helps employees navigate that transition more smoothly, minimizing downtime and ensuring that business operations continue running as usual. Maximizing adoption. The success of any change initiative depends on the extent to which employees adopt and embrace the new way of working. Effective change management involves engaging your stakeholders early in the process, addressing their concerns, and providing the necessary training and support to facilitate adoption, ultimately maximizing the return on the investment in the change effort. Risk management. So change inherently involves uncertain and potential risks, such as budget overruns, technical glitches, and unintended consequences. Effective change management involves thorough risk assessments and mitigating planning and putting planning to anticipate those potential challenges before they escalate, reducing the likelihood of costly setbacks and failures. Fostering innovation. This is probably one of my favorite. Change management is not just about managing the resistance, but also about fostering the culture of innovation and continuous improvement within an organization. By encouraging experimentation, learning from your failures, and recognizing and rewarding innovative behavior, effective change management creates a supportive environment where employees feel empowered to contribute ideas and drive change management. Enhance employee morale and engagement. Change can be stressful and disruptive for employees, leading to decreased morale and engagement if not managed effectively. By involving employees in the process, soliciting their input, and acknowledging their contributions, effective change management helps maintain morale and foster a sense of ownership and commitment to the organization's goals. Achieving strategic objectives. Ultimately, effective change management is essential for achieving organizational strategic objectives and staying competitive in a dynamic business environment. By aligning change initiatives with the organization's vision and goals, effective change management ensures that resources are allocated wisely and efforts are focused on initiatives that deliver the greatest value and impact. In summary, effective change management is crucial for organizations to navigate transition successfully, minimizing disruption, maximizing adoption, and ultimately achieving their strategic objectives in the ever-changing world. So here are some strategies and some recommendations I have for, overcoming those implemental challenges. Number one, clear communication. Ensure that there is open and honest and frequent communication about the change initiative. Clearly communicate the reasons for the change and expected outcomes and how this will affect employees. Address concerns and questions proactively to alleviate uncertainty and resistance. Stakeholder engagement. Involve key stakeholders early in the process and throughout implementation. Seek their input, address their concerns, actively involve them in decision-making to gain buy-in and support for the change initiative. Identify those change champions. Identify and empower change champions within the organizations. Those people, they're excited about change, that want change. Leverage them, use them within your organization. They tend to inspire others and make that change not as much of a burden. These individuals can help drive that momentum and enthusiasm for this change initiative. Training and development. Provide comprehensive training and development opportunities to ensure that your employees have the skills and knowledge required to adapt to the changes effectively. Offer training sessions, workshops, resources tailored to different roles and levels within your organization. Incremental approach. Break down the change initiative if you have to. If this is a huge initiative, start breaking it down into stages. Make it into smaller, more manageable phases for people. Implemental changes allow for feedback, adjustments to be made, learning along the way. Majority of implementations do not go 100%. I can't say I've seen one knock it out of the park first time out the gate. You learn as you go. You launch something, you do something, you adapt it, you change it. There will be probably a million changes before you get it to where you want to go. So tackling these changes in stages is always better. So you can fix things and address things in a smaller level as you grow. Resource allocation. Ensure that adequate resources, including time, budget, personnel, are allocated to support the change initiative. Identifying and address any resource constraints or compete priorities that may hinder the implementation process. Leadership support. Secure, visible, and active support from the leadership team. This is crucial. You have support from your leadership team. Leaders should demonstrate commitment to the change, communicate its importance, and lead by example. Their support helps set the tone for the entire organization and reinforces the importance of the change. Celebrate small successes, celebrate those milestones and successes along the way to acknowledge progress and maintain momentum. Recognize and reward individuals and teams for their contributions to the change initiative, reinforcing positive behaviors and outcomes. Make sure you have a feedback mechanism. Establish feedback to gather, monitor progress, and identify any issues and challenges that may arise during this implementation challenge. Feedback is critical from employees at all levels to be responsive to the input and make necessary adjustments. Continuous improvement. Embrace a culture of continuous improvement and learning. Encourage experimentation, innovation and adaptation based on feedback and lessons learned from the implementation process. Continuously evaluate and refine and change initiative to ensure long-term success and sustainability. Once you finally undertake, one process, that process should never just be done. There's always something that you can do better or fix. There's always an update or a change that can be made and tweaked. Always remember that. Don't just leave things, as is for too long, because then it goes out of date and it just kind of sits there. Make sure you're continually making improvements wherever you can. So where to start in this digital transformation journey? So my number one thing is always evaluate your current systems. Just because you're in one department or in one section, always make sure and branch out, reach out to IT, reach out to those people, evaluate the current systems in your environment that you already have. I have worked with a ton of organizations I go in, and they honestly are not leveraging. They may have one platform, but they're leveraging that platform at maybe 20%, not realizing how much that platform offers. I can't stress enough to you guys, learn your platforms, learn what they can do, because your platforms are constantly changing as well. Updates into platforms are happening, in this digital monthly. These platforms are rolling out updates continuously. So they're offering new things, new products, new things that are out there. And if you're not staying up to date with that, you don't know what you currently have available to you. Technology can get expensive, right? So make sure you're getting the most use out of the systems that you currently have. I can't stress enough to start thinking outside of the box, right? Hey, this platform may do this, but what else can it do, right? Does it have a workflow piece of it? Does it have a forms piece of it? Does it have, routing and approval built in that you can maybe leverage in a different way? Think outside the box in some of the platforms that you currently have. You'd be surprised what all you can accomplish within a platform that, you know, maybe made as something completely different, but you can leverage it in an entirely different way. Collaboration. You don't know what you don't know. This is a great group to start collaborating amongst yourselves. You know, reach out not only in your own organization, but to counterparts that are out there. You know, it's hard. There should be no reason to reinvent the wheel, right? There are people tackling your same topics amongst other cities throughout the world. You know, reach out to your counterparts, see what they're doing, see what they're leveraging, see how they're going about that, and start there. You know, technology can get overwhelming. There's so many different platforms out there that, you know, you can buy anything nowadays to do just about anything. But there's also sharp thinking about it smartly as well. Of, hey, you know, this platform may be this, but it could be leveraged this. You know, within especially municipal government, I can't stress enough about what I see a lot is gatekeeping. You know, a department or an organization has purchased this one platform and they gatekeep this platform, but there are so many other capabilities within this platform to do so many other things. You know, systems nowadays can be very granular with their security and what you can and can't release. So, you know, you can secure your side of it, but, you know, please note that your system that you may use could have other uses throughout your organization in some way, shape, or form. So I can't stress enough to, you know, stop your gatekeeping and open it up to others that could maybe benefit from those platforms as well. That's kind of all I have on that digital transformation journey today. I would love to hear any questions that you have, or just a quick hello, or any feedback that you guys can have. Again, this is a collaboration talk, so any and all questions I would love to hear.
Shauna, I'll ask a question. So in your experience with Grapevine and working with various other cities, what did you think was the biggest roadblock for you as far as digitizing information?
The biggest roadblock for me is I mean, it's that change management, right? It's going in there because one department affects another department when you start changing, and it's trying to get everyone on board, right? Of seeing the bigger picture of where all you can go with this. That change management, I can't stress enough how critical that is when you undertake a digital transformation journey. It's critical that you plan for that. And like I said, another aspect of it on just the digital transformation journey is do your research, right? I can't stress enough of learning what your records are before you go about investing in technology. Make sure you understand the problem that you're wanting to solve before you go into that realm. It's hard to go into these organizations, like I said, and see the money wasted on what they've done and the product that they have out of it because it was not thought out and planned correctly. Those are probably two of my key pieces of make sure you plan ahead in these pieces and make sure, you know, you account for change management as much as you can.
Yeah, and how important is that buy-in component, Shauna, especially like from leadership? Does that factor
The
in?
buy-in, it is critical. You know, the thing is if you were trying to adjust and make these, you know, huge jumps to streamline processes, you know, it's critical of how you plan that out as well. You know, you want to go out of the gate with a process that people are fully behind and they can see immediate results. So before you start your transformation journey, you're going to be tackling a lot of those different things. So make sure you pick one that, you know, you can get the biggest bang for your buck out of the gate, right? So that people can see the difference that it makes. And once people start seeing the ease of how it saves time, how it is more efficient, how it solves these different problems, when people start seeing that, the change is not as hard of a hit, right? And it's also, make sure when you change, there's so many different departments. Take, for example, HR. Every department, every employee, right, is affected by a change in HR, whether it is a process of performance evaluations, status change forms, performance improvement plans, there are things that will affect the entire organization. And I can't stress enough that those processes that affect everyone within the organization, make sure and you think those out first. Work your kinks out, because those are the ones that will drastically affect everything going forward. If you're doing one, make sure you're ready to launch that first one and get the kinks worked out in that one, so people see the benefit and the easeability of it first and foremost.
Yeah, that makes sense. A success story. We also
Mhm.
had a question. Amy asked a great question. And if we don't know the answer, Amy, we'll figure it out and we'll put it in the comments on the YouTube video, and we can contact you directly, of course, as well. But Shauna, do you know what the requirements are on digitizing as far as keeping paper records like HR files? And if they're, she says also, as far as records management requirements, does electronic satisfy for some documents, or they still need to be paper? It's a great question.
Correct. So the digital world, right? So if you have an electronic digital management system, say for example, like Laserfish, right? So the moment you scan those records in and they become a part of that digital world, that is now your official record. So you no longer have to keep your paper record at that point. Now, within states vary, right? So within like the state of Texas, there are certain qualifications you need to make sure that you meet. Your scans in Texas need to have you need to be scanning in documents at least a 300 DPI on your scanner. So every state has qualifications of you must meet this standard for digitization of records. But as long as you have those records digitized, you meet your state standards, that now becomes your official record. So the paper copy is just an AV in, records management world that is now administratively valuable to you. Your official record now becomes your digital record. And so that is kind of the difference of, the records management system.
I
Does
feel
that
like,
answer your question, Amy?
I'll wait to see if she responds also, and I'll prompt it. Oh, yep, she said yes, thank you. Perfect. I feel like maybe a good follow-up to this as well, and I'd love to hear in the chat, or feel free to speak if you want to turn off your microphone or turn on your microphones. But I feel like a good follow-up to this, Shauna, might be like a security. Like, so now that we have this digital world with official records being stored, like, what is our obligation for keeping those secure? I don't know if that's a
Correct.
good topic, but it seems like it might be. So if you all have any input there, feel free. You can also email me or drop it in the chat right now. But I'll put mine and Shauna's email address in the chat. And that way, if anyone does have follow-up questions or wants to make a suggestion to us, we're both happy to communicate and answer those as we are able. So I'm going to put those. And then, as always, I'll close this out with a solid HR joke. Although I will say, for those of you, I think Wendy, you were on. I don't remember who else, but my joke did not hit last month. Like, even Mike did not laugh at my joke. And so I think this one's a little better. It still doesn't compare to the ones that I did like originally. So I'm kind of bummed, but if you have good HR jokes, then just send them my way so that I have some funny ones to tell. Okay, so I'm going to give it a shot. Ready, guys? What did the HR assistant say to the employee? The other person responds, I don't know. And he says, oh, how did you know that? Wendy, did you say you do not always get jokes? I love it. Okay, well, you're making me feel better. That's really kind. I'm gonna try to find some, like, there was one month in particular where I feel like everybody laughed. They asked me to post the actual joke in the chat so they could share it because it was a really good one. But it was like a one-hit wonder. So I'm gonna keep working on that, keep searching for some better ones. But we certainly appreciate your time today and look forward to hearing from you. And then we'll be back next month with a different topic. So if you have any suggestions, let me know. But in the meantime, reach out if you want to and are able, and we look forward to talking with you. Thank you, Shauna, for sharing with us, and thanks for being here. It was awesome. All right, bye.